Hey YouTube, DanOttawa here, coming at you with my Rosetta Stone headphones that I never actually used to learn French, so I thought I would use them for YouTube videos. So it's the first day of GBL. I used a modified version of one of my teams. One of my teams was Ninetales, Galarian Stunfisk, and Azu. Because I was worried about the poison buff, I changed Azu for Jellicent. Same sort of concept, a water Pokemon, but this Jellicent is also half ghost, so it has that access. I went 21 and 4 on the day, but I'm actually very disappointed in that because I was 19 and 1 after 4 sets, and in the last set I ran into the line of Bastiodon on the lead, Metachamp, Sableye in the back. It's a very common team, and this team can do well against it, but not in the order I had it. I led my Ninetales and had Stunfisk and Jellicent in the back. Had I led something else, I could have won this match easy. So that was a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. It's a good team overall. All three Pokemon are pretty strong in this meta, and you'll see even in a couple scenarios where I lost the lead, I'm able to maneuver around. So like I said, I'm going to show you two battles. The first set, I went 5-0. It was a pretty easy, smooth sailing set. The second set, I went 4-1. Even those 4 wins, I think I won the lead once. You'll see me maneuver around. And then I added in a sort of game of the week, 11th game. So stay tuned at the end because I had to catch twice to win. And it was hard countered and hard lead loss. So that will be at the ending. So let's get into these battles. So I always like the first day because you never know what you're going to see. The Pokemon, the game style of play. So in this one, I had a Snorlax lead, which is a kind of neutral matchup. So I'm always building up here. I'm going to let the first one go because I can survive whatever they throw at me here. And I'm building up to the Dazzling Gleam, and I think I throw the Weather Ball. And I'm pretty sure that they shield this. So I'm now going to throw a Dazzling Gleam because it is very unlikely that they will shield a Snorlax on the lead twice. And if they do, which they did, that's great. I'm fine going up 2 shields here. And I got off a Weather Ball here. So this is going to do some good chip damage. And I think we CMP tied. So I'm just going to let this go. I'm going to come with the Galarian Stunfisk and farm as much as I can. They do throw here. Because they were loaded on energy, I was worried about a superpower. So I shielded up. It's just a body slam bait. That's okay. Out comes a Marowak. I probably should have built up to the Earthquake here and thrown it. They're already down to, they have no shields left, so I probably should have just gone for the Earthquake because I'm pretty sure that one-shots. But the Bone Clubs don't do too much, and 2 Rock Slides take this out pretty easy anyways. So I'm going to take this Marowak out with the Rock Slide. The Snorlax doesn't have a ton of power left, and what do they have in the back? A Wigglytuff, which the charms are resisted here, so I'm going to go for the Earthquake because Jellicent's kind of useless here because Wigglytuff is half normal, which means the Hex and the Shadow Ball are useless, are resisted. So I can only throw Bubble Beams here, and they caught a Bubble Beam on their Snorlax, which is fine because nothing Snorlax is going to throw at me is going to hurt me, so I could just build back up here and throw the Bubble Beam again when the Wigglytuff comes back in. So every body slams are resisted. I'm going for the very aggressive resisted Hex farm down. At this point I realize I'm not going to get it, but I already have 2 Bubble Beams, so I'm going to just throw back-to-back Bubble Beams to take this out. So there's one. Here comes the second one. And this may not take it out, but it's low enough that I can just come in and mud shot down, and I have a shield left to shield this up. So that is game 1. Game number 2 here. I saw a couple Pokemon that I've never seen in Great League before. So this one is a okay lead. I can spam these Weather Balls pretty well. I was wondering how much a mud shot does to me here, and it's not an insignificant amount because 3 of those will take me out. So I need to throw these weather balls to get some shields or do some damage here. So they shield up the first one, and they shield up the second one, which is interesting. I'm going to let this go, and hoping I can get the third one off before I have to burn a shield, and I can, which is great because this should do a decent amount of chip damage, so I can just come into my Jellicent and start getting ahead on energy. And this is why I like Jellicent, because outside of the Sableye, or maybe a Galvantula, there's not a lot of hard punishes here. So Altaria, this is where you wish you had Ice Beam. I run the Bubble Beam. You can honestly go either way. I wouldn't mind going Ice Beam. There's a couple times that Ice Beam would have helped me today, like the Wigglytuff match, this match. I'm going to shield this up because I can get to another Shadow Ball and take this out, and I still have another shield left over. So if you want to run Jellicent, I wouldn't be opposed to you running Ice Beam and Shadow Ball. If you go to PV Poke, they talk about that's not as good, but PV Poke focuses on baiting successfully. So my Jellicent goes down. I'm going to come in here and take out the Whiscash, and I'm fairly confident that whatever in the back, even if it's something that hard counters the Galarian Stunfisk, having a shield is more than enough. So they only built up to the Ice Beam here. I can survive the Ice Beam. They're just going to go double Ice Beam here. Maybe they're running Ice Beam Play Rough. I'm going to get the Earthquake off. I'll shield up the Ice Beam that comes through next and get off the Earthquake to take it out. So the as you match is not a terrible match. It is a losing match, obviously, against your Galarian Stunfisk, but if they do go for like the Hydro Pump and you shield it correctly, you can flip this match. And having the shield there allowed me to take that quite easily. So Togekiss, this is one where I would not expect seeing this in the Great League, but they come in with the Gengar, and I don't really have, I think my Jellicent is going to get outpaced by the Gengar, and I'm behind on energy already with the Galarian Stunfisk. So my thought process is just stay in with your Ninetales because you have the energy advantage. I got one shield already. I'm going to throw this here, and then probably switch into the Galarian Stunfisk. No, okay, I go into the Jellicent because my thought process at the time was, even if you need to shield up twice, you can just Hex down and come out loaded. And I only need to burn one shield there, so I am loaded. Roserade comes in. I'm going to Shadow Ball this. Not enough to take it out, but I can just go Bubble Beam here and take this out, and all they have left is the Togekiss for my Ninetales or my Galarian Stunfisk. So pretty easy match, hard countered a lot of the way. Togekiss doesn't have the greatest play in this league because there's so many things that can defeat it, from ice to the steals. Bastion is half steel. Even in sort of a neutral matchup like Jellicent, had I run Ice Beam, I probably could have got at least a burner shield too. It's good against your Stabilizer, your Metachamps, if that's what you're running for. That works, but just know that it's slow charging and it doesn't have a lot of bulk in the Great League. Muck on the lead. Again, I love Muck. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use. And now this is a okay matchup overall because I can just spam these Weather Balls, but I need to successfully shield the Sludge Bomb. They let the first one go. I'm going to shield this up because I got to worry about the Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave, which would probably one-shot me. So I'm going to build up here, and I'm going to throw the Weather Ball. Do I try and catch here on my... Yeah, I'm going to build up and try and catch on my Galarian Stunfisk. And they just burned all their energy, so that was a good catch on my part, and out comes the Raichu. We're even on shields, and because I'm pretty far ahead on energy, I can build up. I can let this go because I don't think much hurts me here, and it's just a Brick Break, so even being effective, it doesn't do much. I'm going to build up the Earthquake, fake it, get the Rock Slide bait off, And now I can get to the Earthquake. As we saw, the Brick Break doesn't do too much to me. So I'm going to let this go because I can get the Earthquake off here. And having a shield for Jellicent, again, I don't really know what they have in the back yet, but having a shielded Jellicent is probably more than enough to take out anything. I know I'm going to get farmed down there, so I just throw the Rock Slide to do any sort of chip damage because now I can come in here and snipe with the Ninetales. And the Muck is almost done, so they just stop attacking, knowing that this game is over. So fairly easy win so far. I did a nice catch there on the Sludge Wave, but for the most part, these have been pretty simple matches. Here, the Gramble's charms hurt. Anything with charm does hurt if you do not resist it. So I am timing my moves to make sure that I can get the maximum off here. I'm now going to go into my Galarian Stunfisk because the charms will be resisted here at least. I think this has or it has some sort of fighting move if I'm not mistaken. So I shield and then they just throw a crunch. Rosary comes in. I'm already loaded here, so one Earthquake is, I don't know if it one-shots, but it's going to come very, very close to one-shotting. One mud-shot there. Out comes another, so Rapidash, which is, again, another spicy pick. Kind of a Talonflame light for the Great League, I guess. That goes down, and then they quit out here. So now I'm up to 4, so this is probably the second set. So this is where you're going to see me having to do a lot more plays here, and this is probably where it starts. Galarian Stunfisk, because the Rock Slides are going to be doing super effective against me, and it's going to outpace me. So this is a losing matchup here. So I think my thought process at the time is, I got to shield this up. I'm going to try and Weather Ball spam to draw a shield, and then go into my Jellicent to try and get ahead on energy. Or I catch a move. That's also a play. So it was debating whether to throw the move or just bank it. They come in with a Tropius, which is not great. It is an Air Slash Tropius, so that at least helps me on the quick moves, but that means it's a quicker charge move, which is not great. Again, Ice Beam would have been very, very beneficial here. At this point, I have to let this go. I'm already down a shield, and I can't get to the move, so I just got to go for a Bubble Beam. So I'm down a shield, and this Tropius is going to be loaded. So this is not a good situation. So my thought process at this point is, I need to be loaded coming out of this. I did lower the attack, so I can take whatever it throws at me here. So even if I take a second Leaf Blade here, that's okay, because I need to be loaded for whatever comes in. And out comes the Stunfisk, so I'm able to get the one Weather Ball off. They shield, so now we're even on shields. I'll go back to back here to hopefully draw the second one or put it really low. And because they definitely were not keeping track of my total, I get a third one off. And at this point, I'm like, maybe I can get to a fourth one. And they try to commit to the farm down, and the Ninetales is very, very spammy. So if you're ever in that position, you might want to start counting. And out comes the Pelipper. So it's not over yet, because the Pelipper's Weather Balls will do super effective against me. I need to watch out for a sack swap. It's going to take 2 Weather Balls and 2 Rock Slides to take out each other. And because I have the shield, I am at a huge advantage. I just need to watch out for a potential sack swap. So I'm trying to wait here and throw on CMP, which I'm pretty sure I did. So they're going to get the Weather Ball off. That's fine because we tied. So this will take out the Pelipper. And the Tropius is not going to be able to get to a move in time to take me out. So being able to have the energy dumped on my Jellicent there and maneuvering around the Tropius, knowing that I needed to have a loaded Ninetales, was the play there. They come into Talonflame, and I don't have an amazing response. I don't want to go behind on energy into the G-Fist, so I have to come into the Jellicent, and they Brave Bird me, which is okay, because now I build up a bit and then throw the Shadow Ball. they're extremely low, so I don't know if they're willing to shield, and they don't. So I can now align back with my Ninetales, which is good because I cannot have the Galarian Sunfisk going against a Obstagoon. Problem is, again, I don't have Ice Beam, so they know that. They can just counter down. These Bubble Beams aren't doing anything, and they are going to be absolutely loaded coming out of this match. Because they are 2-time lowered, I let this go even if it is a Gunk Shot, which ends up being a Gunk Shot, which still does a huge amount. And now comes a Toxicroak. So they got double fighters, and I am stuck here with a super low Ninetales and a Galarian Stunfisk. And they counter me down. So this is looking like a terrible situation. Luckily, my Mud Shots are doing effective. I need to shield these Mud Bombs up because this will be doing super effective. I need to get to a Rock Slide. We see MP tie here, so I need to shield again. I'm not worried about the Obstagoon because if they're running Gunk Shot, they're most likely running Night Slash with it for some coverage to go with the counters. So the Mud Shots are what's effective. At this point, I need to pray that I get the farm down here before they get a move off, and I do. And it's going to take an Earthquake to take out this Obstagoon, so I'm not playing around here. I think because I'm loaded with energy, I can get to 2 Earthquakes here. They are building up a lot, and they throw a move here, and it does just happen to be Night Slash. So if you are an opponent, throw that Night Slash earlier to try and get the boost. But they do not get the boost, and I get to the Earthquake, and I'm able to take out the Obstagoon. So 2 fighters there, able to maneuver around that only with a Galarian Stunfisk left, which is pretty clutch. A Graveler. This is great for the Kanto Cup, and interesting here because I'm in a tricky situation because the Rock moves will be doing super effective. The Volt Switch will be doing super effective against the Jellicent. So I get the first one off, and I try to catch on my Galarian Stunfisk, and I am pretty hard punished with a Metacham here with Power Punch, which is not great because they are just going to ramp up here. They've already burnt 1 shield, so it's very unlikely they are going to burn a second shield. I know they're going to get another move off here. I know I could not get to the Earthquake, so I just want to try and do chip damage here. Get the Rock Slide off. Unfortunately, this is not going to be doing enough, and they're going to probably come out with some energy onto my Ninetales, which is not a great situation. At this point, I need to probably let this go because I need to save those shields for the Rock moves from the Graveler. So here comes the first one. I am out of Weather Ball, so I'm going to throw this, and they caught perfectly on their Politoed. So that's a great catch by them. I'm going to build up a bit more, counting their moves, and I'm going to catch the Weather Ball on my Jellicent. So if you can sack, I can sack too. Well, not sack, but just catch in this point. So they just threw a resisted Weather Ball, which is great because now I can outpace. Even if they can get to Earthquake, it's going to take 2 Earthquakes here because another Weather Ball plus Earthquake isn't going to be enough. And at this point, I can just outspam. And I know that the Graveler still has some sort of Rock Blast or Stone Edge ready. So I just need to let this go and save the shield for the Ninetales. And out comes the Graveler to try and snipe me. I'm going to throw this, immediately come in to my Ninetales, so I'm loaded with the Dazzling Gleam to take out this Politoed. So a couple switches, catches there help me win that match. In this next match, Umbreon on the lead, and this is where it's knowing your counts helps and knowing your opponents helps. So this was just 4, so this is only a foul play. So at this point, I'm realizing that this is probably not a stronger battler, and you're going to run into all sorts of people in the beginning because you do not throw a resisted foul play at a Ninetales. And again, this was only 4, so this is another foul play. So I don't need to worry about shielding this up. I'm just going to go for the Dazzling Gleam because it's very unlikely they're going to double shield an Umbreon on the lead. and they don't, and they swap out to their Azu. I'm going to build up and then try to catch what I was hoping was some sort of Ice Beam on my Jellicent, but it is actually the Play Rough. So that does hurt, but I'm still up a shield, and I can get to the Shadow Ball if the game doesn't lag a bunch. Considering everyone was playing right at around 4 or 5 o'clock, the lag was not as bad as I expected it to be. I am going to shield up here because I have 2 shields, and the Play Roughs do a significant amount. So they need to either invest their last shield here or they are going down. They do shield it up. At this point, I have energy. So my thought process here is I'm going to outpace it to take it out, and I should be getting a little more energy, to at least one more energy to bring into my next match. So this will take it out. Out comes a Tropius. So I'm immediately going to bank that, and this is why I built up the Ninetales, because now I can Weather Ball spam this Tropius into Oblivion. This will take it out, and that is the game. I think it's going to take, because the rankings are mostly just game based for the first, it's almost like 18, 20 ranks. I think you're going to run into a wide variety of people. So this was my one loss in the 19-1. And Ferrothorn is a huge issue for this team because this is running Mirror Shot. So 2 Mirror Shots will take this out. It has the Power Whip for both the Jellicent, which will be super effective, and it does a lot of damage to the Galarian Stunfisk. I get the second move off here, and I know they're going to get a Mirror Shot off here. And at this point, I thought that I could let this go and come in with Galarian Stunfisk and Mud Shot down, which that was a terrible idea because they get off the Power Up here. I didn't know how much it would do, and it does a decent amount. And so I'm trying to just Mud Shot this down, and they get a second move, and I know it's probably just a Flash Cannon, but I can't take another Power Whip, so I shield, and it is a Mirror Shot, not a Flash Cannon. So that hurts. I am loaded, which is nice, but I'm down a shield. They have an Azu for my Stunfisk, so I switch out, and I'm immediately hard punished with an Umbreon. And again, not having Ice Beam, this is a terrible matchup. And this is why if I run Jellicent again, which I'm sure I will because it's a strong Pokemon overall, I will be running Ice Beam. There are just too many matches with normal types, dark types, Altarias, Flyers, that only having the Shadow Ball Bubble Beam is not sufficient. You need to have that Ice Beam. And they know that this game's over. I know this game's over. I could have just quit at this point, but I wanted to play it out because I was on a 19-game win streak at that point. So if I'm gonna lose my 20th game, I wanna lose it. At this point, I thought maybe they're gonna try and choose Shield Flex, and I don't want to get 2 Shield Flex on, so I'm gonna try to get a shield from them. These are the small wins. If you're gonna lose, at least have a small win in it overall. And I got the shield, so now I can lose happily. Not happily, but I'll lose. And I'm really dragging this out, so I'm sorry that this match goes on. We go down to the timer. The timer is like 18 seconds by the time they take me out. So that's the team overall. I'm going to show you my game of the week that I had a terrible lead, terrible swap in, and still managed to pull it out because I was able to catch twice. And that'll be the last game. So this team is definitely worth trying out. But like I said, Bastiodon, Sableye, Metachamp, just switch the order and this will do better. So a tough lead here. Again, I'm going to throw the Weather Ball here because I want to just try and do chip damage. I am keeping track of their Rock Slides, their counts here. And at this point, I wanted to switch into my Jellicent, but I couldn't. So I'm going to build up, but I know they're one away from a rock slide back to back. So I go one and then switch to catch the rock slide. So there's my first catch on the Jellicent. And it's not resist or anything, but I'd rather have it there than super effective on the Ninetales. Out comes the Venusaur, and this is going to outpace me and take me out. So there goes the Jellicent. So I'm down a shield, and I have poor alignment again. I need to throw this because I cannot burn a second shield with the sludge bomb here. So I need to shield this up because this would one-shot me. I'm going to farm up a bit more. I expect them to let this go, but I need to have some energy to deal with the other one. They shielded, so if they're shielding, they're going to throw the sludge bomb. So I'm able to absorb all that energy onto my own Galarian Stunfisk, and that won me the match because they're staying in here to get a Frenzy Plant off. They can't come immediately in with their own Galarian Stunfisk because now I was ahead on energy. So I'm building up a lot. I don't care if I took Frenzy Picking because I need to come out of this with energy. And they still have a full Pokemon in the back that I have to deal with. The Galarian Stunfisk is low, and they have a Pelipper. So a Pelipper is only going to take one Weather Ball to take me out. So I'm going to get the first Rock Slide off. Notice my Switch Clock is up. I'm going to go switch, catch him off guard, get this Weather Ball off. This unfortunately does not take it out yet. They switch to come with the Galarian Stunfisk. I'm able to outpace it, get this Weather Ball off. The Pelipper is going to come in, get the Weather Ball off to take me out, and it still has some energy left. So now I need to Mud Shot this down before it can get a Weather Ball off on my, and it just took one Mud Shot. So that is catching the Rock Slide on the Jellicent and catching the Sludge Bomb on my Galarian Stunfisk to win that match. So that's the day, 21-4. Like I said, it could have been better if I just had a different alignment, but I'm not going to complain about a 21-4 day. However, because I saw that Bastiodon Medicham Sableye line 3 times, my team tomorrow will counter it, and that's how I do it. If I see something that's being run a lot and it's pissing me off, I'm just going to counter it tomorrow. So I'll see you guys in the next one.